If, like me, you struggle with your weight, then stick around until the end of this video. Lumen, the world's first metabolic coach, has important insights tailor-made for you. I am back after a very brief week, taking a trip to Orange County, California, where we moved from there to Washington, D.C., and then a wedding in Idaho. I am back. I want to thank Steve Shives, who graciously accepted to step in and do the arduous work of several videos a day, a little different than his normal content creation tempo. I think he did a fantastic job. And if you agree, go subscribe to his channel. I would appreciate it. We are 34 days out from the election. Mentioning that, we will be doing a live stream that night, 4 hours. I would love for you to join myself and Brittany Page for that. It's going to be a good time. Not your typical program. We're looking forward to it. So go set a reminder on that YouTube video and check that out. But being 34 days out and just witnessing what took place yesterday with both the debate, but also a moment in time for Donald Trump to once again signal to America that he is not fit to be commander-in-chief of the United States military. He was asked by a reporter yesterday. Actually, let's do this. Let's put this in context. For how long have we been hearing Donald Trump whine and complain and just tug at your heartstrings about being shot near his ear? That an assassin's bullet nearly took him out. Why is no one talking about this? Oh, poor me, says Donald Trump. On and on and on and on. If it's not him, it's his surrogates. And if it's not the surrogates, just MAGA world in general, whining and complaining that the dear leader was nearly killed by a bullet that did not strike him. Yet when asked yesterday by a reporter about a bombing attack, a missile strike on a U.S. military installation that left dozens of U.S. soldiers with traumatic brain injury, he wanted to categorize it as headaches. The same man who calls our service members losers and suckers, who sacrificed their lives, who gave the ultimate sacrifice to their country, to a cause they believe larger than themselves, he denigrates. And he's continuing to do so. And the MAGA cult, the support the troops, the fatriots are still in lockstep behind him. Here is that moment. And then I'm going to remind you just how horrible the event that took place that rendered dozens of soldiers with traumatic brain injury.
Attacks from Iran, but also, do you believe that you should have been tougher on Iran after they had launched ballistic missiles in 2020 on U.S. forces in Iraq, leaving more than 100 U.S. soldiers injured?
So, first of all, injured. What does injured mean? Injured means you mean because they had a headache, because the bombs never hit the fort. So just so you understand, there was nobody ever tougher in Iraq. They had no money with me. They would have made any deal with me. I would have had a deal made within 1 week after the election.
A little cognitive slip there as well at the end when he says, nobody was tougher on Iraq, talking about Iran. Those moments, by the way, are becoming more and more frequent and closer together. So much so that they can't be just explained away as, it's just a slip of the tongue. It was just an errant misspeaking. That's not what it is, without a doubt. So do you believe you should have been tougher on Iran, not Iraq, after they launched ballistic missiles in 2020 when you were President Donald Trump, on U.S. forces leaving more than 100 soldiers injured? What does injured mean? You mean because they had a headache? Says the whiner about the ear that was not struck by a bullet. Let me read this headline to you. 109 U.S. troops suffered brain injuries in Iran strike, Pentagon says. The Defense Department says 45 more U.S. service members have been diagnosed with traumatic brain injuries after Iran's attack on the al-Assad air base in Iraq last month, raising the total number of troops injured in the ballistic missile strike to 109. Of those who were injured, 76 have returned to duty. A Pentagon statement about the injuries did not include details about the service members, such as their age, rank, or military unit. Monday's update is at least the fifth time the U.S. has revised the number of personnel injured during the Iranian attack. President Trump initially reported no U.S. troops were injured. Quote, "No Americans were harmed in last night's attack by the Iranian regime," Trump said shortly after the strike. He added, "We suffered no casualties." But the Pentagon later said that 11 people had suffered traumatic brain injuries. And on January 24th, the number jumped to 34. Nearly a week later, the Pentagon said 50 personnel were injured, only to revise that figure later, days later, to 64. So obviously what happens, let's bring this down to some commonality that you might be able to understand if you've never been in combat or served in the military. If you have a car accident and you get jolted and you feel fine right after the car accident, it might take days or even weeks later until you start noticing some injuries that you sustained in said car accident. The exact same thing can be said of a traumatic brain injury, which won't show itself for some time after the initial incident. And that's what happened here. And Donald Trump at the time was the commander-in-chief of the United States Armed Forces, the president of the United States of America, knowing full well the intelligence briefings and the conditions of these soldiers. He knew. And he lied. And he continues to lie. Oh, they had headaches? Oh, okay, suckers and losers. You had headaches? Oh, poor you. Not fit. Not fit to be president, not fit to be a congressman or a senator, not fit to be commander-in-chief of the armed forces of these United States. Not fit. Some might say not fit to be an American, but I'll leave those judgments to others. It is just a stark reminder of the hypocrisy of Donald Trump, of the selfishness of Donald Trump. He wants everyone to look at me, surrounding his non-injured ear, yet traumatic brain injuries were headaches. Suckers and losers. I like my war heroes that weren't captured. Just abject disrespect on a global scale for Donald Trump, denigrating the sacrifice of people who dedicated their lives to the prospect of service to, again, something greater than themselves, something he's never done and will never do. 34 days to the election. I hope that you are in overdrive right now, convincing people to get out there and vote. Neighbors and coworkers and relatives and acquaintances. We need an overwhelming show of force because of the dirty tricks and chicanery and illegal activity that is starting to happen right now. While I was away, lawsuits were filed in advance of the election, challenging the results that haven't even happened yet. Thanks for joining me today. If you want to help support this work, you can become a channel member for $2 a month or go over to my Patreon page, patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. We sell merch, Dollemore Daily shirts, Dollemore Daily hats and mugs, and also Fight Poverty, Not the Poor, a great message, great conversation starter shirt too. You can go to dollemore.info for those. Follow me on social media, @Dollemore is where I am everywhere. And another way to support is to stick around. Check out this offer from today's sponsor. Anyone who has watched my videos for a while now will know that I struggle with my weight a little bit. From diets to workout regimens and apps filled with wisdom, I feel like I have sampled the spectrum of weight loss options. I think that I've made pretty great progress of late too, if I do say so myself. And no, not through some dubious miracle cure. I have been using Lumen to study my metabolism. Lumen has allowed me to better understand how effectively the foods I eat turn into the energy that keeps me going. But let's back up. What is Lumen anyway? Well, it's the world's first handheld metabolic coach. With just one breath in the morning, Lumen measures your metabolism. It lets you know if you're burning fat or carbs, and then recommends a personalized health plan to improve your nutrition, workout, sleep, and stress management. Take the next step in improving your health by going to lumen.me/Dollemore to receive 15% off of your purchase. That's lumen.me/Dollemore for 15% off your first order. Lumen is not just a weight loss tool. Your metabolism is basically your body's engine turning food or fuel into the power to run the machine that is you. Optimizing that engine can bring about several benefits. Yes, easier weight management, like I've been doing, plus also increased energy levels, enhanced fitness results, and improved sleep. Using your own real-time metabolic readings, Lumen will generate a plan to put you in the most optimal state for what you're doing. If you breathe into Lumen before you work out, Lumen can tell you whether or not you need to carb up, for instance. No more cookie cutter, one-size-fits-all nutritional strategies. Craft a healthier version of you with Lumen. Head to lumen.me/Dollemore to receive 15% off of your purchase. That's lumen.me/Dollemore for 15% off. Illuminate your metabolic health with Lumen.